The days of carrying useful objects with us on a daily basis has certainly changed. Our pockets and hands once held things that all of us needed to make life a little easier. So let's take a look back at a simpler time when we carried many things that did not include a cell phone. Keys were one of those things that were necessary to open doors and start automobiles. Just a couple decades ago, keychains would hold sometimes dozens of keys that might jingle from a belt loop or fill a pocket. Latchkey kids often had a key around their neck, which they would use to open the door to their house after school while their parents were still away at work. These weren't just pieces of metal, because keys somewhat symbolized freedom and responsibility. Not to mention they were a must-carry if you wanted to lock or unlock something. A trusty pocket knife was once carried for many reasons. These were often a lifelong gift that young men would grow up with. It was basically a versatile tool that whittled sticks on a camping trip, tightened a loose screw, and cut a variety of things that needed cutting. It also meant that you were prepared for any situation and completely self-reliant. And not to mention, these were carried everywhere, including at schools and in airports before they were banned. Remember Granddad's pocket watch? This was a relic of time gone by, one where men dressed to impress. The polished metal exterior was attached to a chain that often had a T-bar at the end that would thread through a buttonhole. The pocket watch could then be slipped into a vest pocket and be ready for a time check. Often these fancy watches were passed down, so maybe you have one hidden away somewhere. At Recollection Road, I believe preserving the past is incredibly important, and our friends at Legacy Box do too. So much so, they've offered my viewers a code for 55% off. In today's digital age, analog media like VHS tapes and film reels are fading, risking the loss of cherished memories due to things like mold, dust, and time. But Legacy Box, trusted by over 1.5 million families, offers a simple and safe solution to protect your memories before it's too late. With Legacy Box, you can convert your analog treasures into digital memories effortlessly. Send your VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, and pictures to Legacy Box, and like magic, receive back your originals and digital copies for easy enjoyment, sharing, and organization. And here's the kicker. For a limited time, enjoy an exclusive 55% discount at legacybox.com/recollection. Don't let your memories fade. Preserve your past today with Legacy Box. Buy today to take advantage of this exclusive offer and send them in whenever you're ready. Go to legacybox.com/recollection to save 55% while supplies last. Reading the newspaper used to be a daily ritual that just about everyone took part in. Whether it was hand-delivered to your house or picked up on the way to work, newspapers were often tucked under the arm so they could be read at a later time. The newspaper print not only left ink on your hands, but it offered a window into news locally and around the world. And kids loved them for the comic strip section. Pockets not only would jingle from the set of car keys you had in them, but also from the change of coins that would often be toted around. Back then, we might need a quarter for the payphone, or some spare change to buy a snack, so it was important to always have some change on you for those small things. Dollar bills would also be used occasionally, but that required a wallet or a pocketbook to be pulled out, which is something else we carried. This was long before plastic credit cards had us believing we had more money than we actually did. Today, we have Kleenex and boxes of toilet tissues sitting around in case we sneeze. But there was a time when we carried cotton handkerchiefs around with us. The soft cloth could be tucked into a shirt pocket, or maybe into the back pocket of your pants. And it was a practical accessory, not just for you, but as a token of care and consideration. Offering it to a friend in need was a silent gesture that went a long way. That is, of course, if you hadn't already used it. Cigarettes and a lighter used to be a companion when it came to what we carried. Lighting up was something that seemingly everyone did, and it came with fancy cigarette cases and specialty lighters that were carried by many too. If you didn't have a lighter, you may have picked up a book of matches, which were handed out as a way to advertise for many businesses. Smoking was not just a habit, it was a pastime that had been around for thousands of years, so it's no wonder people were carrying things around just waiting for a smoke break. If you've stuck around this long, don't worry, there's still more. I just wanted to let you know that we have some retro merchandise available too. Just click the link in the description to head on over to the store. Another thing that people toted around was a small notepad and pen. This was the only way people had to keep track of their busy life. Tucked away in a pocket or a purse, notebooks were filled with ideas and musings, often scribbled down quickly as people were on the move. The little notebooks were predecessors of the apps that we all rely on now to remember important things. For over half of the 20th century, men would wear a fedora whenever they left the house. It was an emblem of style and sophistication that began during Prohibition and continued through the early 1960s. They were functional too, shading eyes from the sun and providing a bit of protection from the weather. This was also a time when tipping your hat was a sign of respect, and it was also customary for you to remove your hat when you went inside, meaning that people were often carrying their hat in their hands. For some people, getting through a tough day meant taking swigs from a flask that was concealed in a hidden pocket. This stemmed largely from Prohibition, which saw both men and women getting creative in how they carried their whiskey or spirits. This was long before 24-hour liquor stores, so people had to make sure they were prepared before they left the house. You never knew when you were going to need some liquid courage. Finally, if you were a smoker or a drinker, then you probably also carried around a pack of gum, just in case you needed to freshen your breath. There was Clove, Beeman's, Tea-Berry, and Blackjack, which were popular brands years ago, in addition to the gum giant Wrigley's. It didn't matter which one was your favorite. Having sticks of gum at the ready meant you could offer a piece to someone else as a nice gesture. The bottom line is that we used to carry a lot of things around with us on a daily basis. I guess that's why clothing back then had so many pockets. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and make sure to check the description of this video for links to pick up a t-shirt and sign up for the newsletter. Thank you to our loyal Patreon supporters listed here. Visit patreon.com/recollectionroad to join the club. As always, thank you so much for watching.